Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew. I'm Pop.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Kelly. Hi, Eddie. I'm Ronnie.
And we're some of the Veggie Boys.
And Dara.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, please consider subscribing because we can grow a lot of stuff on the farm, but one thing we can't grow is this channel without your help.
Hey, hey. Wow, this is the smallest one. Dad, the spiders are doing good.
They are?
They're good at making webs.
Yes, they are.
I want them to catch food.
You want the spiders to catch bugs? Me too. Catch all the bugs, spiders.
Oh my God.
This first row is all jumbos. Yeah, you're doing really good. Those aren't jumbos. Put those back. It's the first row are jumbos.
Oh, yeah.
That's okay. It's an easy mistake to make.
More jumbos coming.
Yeah. Oh, well, your carton is full. You got to close it up. You're doing really good at this. Have you done this before?
Yeah.
You're like a professional.
Yeah. I need one more.
Yep. Put it in there. Good job. High five.
Come out, so. They're both making webs.
They are.
Now I'm gonna do next And if there's a chicken in here,
Oh, good job.
they are warm.
Yeah.
Look out, guys.
Watch out, chickens are coming through. Welcome back, everyone, to a beautiful day on the farm. Over the weekend, we had something pretty exciting happen. We got rain. We haven't had rain in a long time, and the crops really appreciated it. Because of that rain and the irrigation that we've been doing, we've seen sizable growth when it comes to our crops. And because of that, one of our big jobs has to happen today, and that's something we'll be working on shortly. For right now, we were working on animals, and we just got the cattle and the chickens all taken care of. The next job that we're gonna be moving on to is checking the greenhouses. We need to check on the strawberries, we need to check on the tomatoes, and I need to show you something else that we've got going on in there.
Dad.
Hey, Callie, what sound does a chicken make?
Bop, bop.
What are you transplanting?
Cabbage.
Ooh, very nice. This greenhouse is looking too empty for me.
Late cabbage.
Late cabbage. Woohoo! On first look this morning, everything is looking phenomenal here in greenhouse number 6. These strawberries that we had planted into our gutters, they are doing great. They look beautiful, and we're starting to see blossoms. From the video where we got these strawberries planted, we had asked for suggestions. You guys flooded the comments with suggestions. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Gave us a lot of useful information and some stuff to think about moving forward. Not only have we been very, very impressed with the strawberries, but our mainstay here in the greenhouse, the tomatoes, have beyond impressed us. We're so happy with what we're seeing, and harvest is right around the corner. Some of the tomatoes we're starting to see in this greenhouse are getting some real size to them. Thankfully, we've been able to adjust our fertilizer as needed, and because of that, the tomato crop is continuing to grow, and the fruit that it's producing is getting bigger and bigger. Now, I had mentioned we did something exciting in greenhouse number 6. You already know about the strawberries, and then we have our tomatoes, so what could we add? Well, that would be more strawberries. Yeah, we had some extra strawberry plants left over, so what we decided to do was build us another gutter system over here, and we got the strawberries planted. Now, unfortunately, these are a little behind all the other strawberries that we had planted. We would have liked to get the jobs done at the same time, but with the hay crop needing to be taken care of and so many other jobs on our plate, this got pushed back just a little bit, but eventually we were able to get it finished. The other thing we've got taken care of is we have our drip tape put into place. This is gonna allow us to automatically water all of our crops. We wanted to get this put into place earlier on, but now that we do have it in place, we're not gonna have to worry about these strawberries very much. We're just gonna have to come through and check on them and let them continue to grow. The other day we asked ourselves if maybe we were getting in a little over our heads when it comes to the strawberry business, but they continue to grow nice like this, I'll be happy. I'll be happy. But when I start harvesting strawberries, I'll be really happy. It's kind of interesting to see greenhouse number 5 empty like that. A big reason why it's so empty is because we kept our whole planting of tomatoes in there. We had our whole planting of peppers, and a lot of stuff that we ended up planting out in the fields were sitting in greenhouse number 5. Now that we've got a bulk of our first plantings in, that means greenhouse number 5 is now going to be filled up with mums, as you just saw. It is definitely exciting time switching around all the greenhouses like that. Ready? Get up in the seat. They're catching up. Yep, there's blossoms on the zucchini. That's exciting. All right, guys, before we get back to taking care of the big job for today, I want to take a minute and talk about something that has become a very important part of the farm. With summer storms, extreme heat, and hurricane season, power outages seem to be happening more and more often. And when you're growing plants and raising animals just like us, losing power can become a problem pretty quickly. That's why we've been checking out the Jackery Solar Generator 5000 Plus. What impressed me is this isn't just a small battery backup. It delivers 7,200 watts of continuous power, including 240 volts. So it can run everything from refrigerators and freezers to greenhouse equipment, workshop tools, and more. This thing actually has the power to run a large chest freezer for 40 to 50 hours. And in times of crisis, that's important to know. For us, it's all about being prepared before the power goes out instead of scrambling after it happens. One feature I really like about this thing is the UPS backup capabilities. If the power goes out, this thing switches on so fast, you might not even realize the power goes out. Another great feature about the Jackery is you can actually charge it multiple ways, including solar panels, as you can see right here. And if you feel like solar's not the best option for you, you can just plug it into the wall, or you could even do a hybrid charge. And all of this gives you tons of extra flexibility during a longer outage if you were to experience one. And if your needs grow, the system can expand all the way up to 60 kilowatt hours of storage. If the power goes out during extreme weather, having reliable backup power gives us a lot of peace of mind knowing essential equipment can keep running. Visit the link in the description to learn more about the Jackery Prime Day sale, where you're gonna be able to find sales for up to 65% off. Another thing you can do is just Google Jackery Prime Day sale for more information. Thank you to Jackery for sponsoring today's video and for helping to keep the power on. Now let's get out to the fields. Started on our big job of the day. What we're working on right now is cultivating potatoes. We're also going to come through later on today and try and hill the potatoes. So a lot of work with the potatoes. Cultivation is very, very important for many different reasons, and I'm excited to be doing this job. I had some help. I had Ronnie in here with me, and then I had Callie in here with me, and they both disappeared. I don't know where they went. I'm just kidding, I know right where they went. Have you ever seen a pop-up on a side-by-side or driving a four-wheeler? That's the most exciting thing there is. See a little bit of a size difference in the potatoes that we're cultivating right now. These are actually in early variety, so we're looking to harvest these anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks earlier than the other potatoes. best to just try and space out our harvest. And if we can get an earlier potato crop, the local customers really appreciate it. The local restaurants really appreciate it. A few weeks ago was actually the last of our potatoes we ended up selling to a local restaurant. And they were pretty sad to see our potatoes go. Not only is the price better, but it's nice to have a local product, a local potato to share with your customers, to share with the people that attend their restaurants. But with the looks of what we're finding today, I don't think it's gonna be that much longer till we are harvesting. It still is early on, but these early varieties of potatoes, they look stunning. And that's why it's so important we go through with the cultivator and the hiller today. If we waited any longer, these rows would be closed up from the potatoes' growth. And to really help you appreciate how much further along these potatoes are, I am seeing blossoms on these tomatoes in certain areas where the soil is a little deeper. So that is exciting. Potatoes are one of those crops you just have to have the locals go crazy for local potatoes. I wouldn't consider myself a potato farmer. I'm a farmer that grows potatoes. But one thing I know is that cultivating and hilling potatoes is one of the most important things when it comes to a potato crop. When we're cultivating potatoes, one of the main things we're doing is controlling weeds. Every single weed that is in our potato field is competition for our potatoes. Potatoes like a lot of water and they love a lot of nutrients. So the fact that there are weeds in your field soaking up that water and soaking up that nutrients, it's not good for your potatoes. Cultivation also breaks up the soil surface, allowing water to soak down in, loosening up the soil, giving the potatoes a better opportunity to have root growth. So cultivation all around, its benefits for the crop. Now when we get into the other facet of what we're going to be doing today, hilling. Hilling is a little bit different, but it's just as important. Now hilling is where it gets really interesting, and there's a lot of interesting science that kind of plays into the potato crop. As potatoes grow, they produce tubers along the underground stems. If those developing potatoes are exposed to sunlight, they'll turn green, and that's something we can't have happen. Not only will they look a little weird being a green potato, but they start producing compounds that make them undesirable to eat. It completely changes the flavor. By pulling soil from around the plant to the base of the plant, that prevents this from happening, and it allows us to utilize every single potato. Hilling also allows you to produce more potatoes. Think of it as another layer of soil for the plant to put potatoes into. Because we're pulling all this extra soil between rows up to the plant, it just gives us the opportunity to have more potato growth and ultimately harvest more potatoes. So the more protected underground stems that we create, it's going to mean a larger plant and larger potatoes. Another benefit of hilling potatoes is moisture retention. Moisture retention is super important. As I had already mentioned, potatoes love water. So now if you ever see farmers cultivating and hilling their potatoes, you have a better idea of what's going on. The amount of benefits you get by doing this job are unbelievable, but there is some risk, as there always is with cultivating. You could rip plants out of the ground, and that's why being very careful and taking your time is super important. Today, I don't think we ran into that problem, but I will say every single row looks outstanding. And I thought I was gonna be the one hilling today, but Daniel must have got a little excited. He went and got the hiller hooked up to his tractor, and he's already getting started. Potatoes are all cultivated. Daniel is going to be finishing off with hilling, and that is going to be a massive job accomplished for the day. Around the time the video is coming out, it will be my brother and my sister-in-law's anniversary. So Tracy and Matthew, happy anniversary. You guys are good parents, and you're a good example. Love Matthew and Tracy. Can we get a happy anniversary for Matt and Tracy down in the comments? Thank you very much. Lunchtime today. Let's see what we're having. Oh, it looks like we've got chicken salad, tuna salad, some fresh cut watermelon. Looks delicious. Once we got finished off with lunch, I went and got the four-wheeler and got it attached to our wagon, and I just loaded a whole bunch of cabbage onto the wagon. Normally when it comes to transplanting cabbage, what we like to do is put our own cabbage into these trays called 98s. Just makes it a lot easier when you're on the back of the planter. What I just loaded onto the wagon was cabbage that we had seeded for sales. And cabbage seed is not that expensive, so I'm not too upset about having some leftover plants, but I think we overshot it a little bit, just a little bit. So there's two options. We either hold on to the cabbage and do our best to try and sell it, which at this point I don't think we're going to be able to because people aren't picking it up, or we can take it out in the fields and plant it ourselves, and that's what our next big job is. We've done this for countless different plants. I remember doing it for tomatoes, some previous years peppers, and this year it just happens to be cabbage is what we have left over. Now we could wait and see if anybody picks it up, but these plants are getting less desirable by the day. They've gotten a lot larger than we like them to be, and they're starting to become root bound, which does not help the customer when they take them home and transplant them themselves. So not only are we doing ourselves a favor, but we're doing the people in the local area a favor. And Grammy's working on transplanting some more starts today, so people will be able to pick up some more plants later on. Just for now, they're gonna have to wait. We got our planter all filled up with plants. The first thing Daniel and I are gonna be transplanting is some kohlrabi. Now we're moving on to that cabbage. Some big old kohlrabi plants. See, it's already starting to bulb up there. I think the last thing I planted with Daniel was peppers. Would you rather plant peppers over cabbage?
I'd rather plant 98s.
Oh. So as long as it's in 98s, you don't care. And Daniel's like me, he doesn't like planting out of the packs that much. We just got another row of cabbage planted. We put it right next to the cabbage that we had transplanted the other day. This stuff was a lot smaller than what we transplanted today, so it still looks a little bit smaller. But everything is growing, mostly due to the irrigation that we put on it. Just like that, we got a few more rows of cabbage put into the soil. I'll tell you one thing, our temperatures are really starting to heat up. It had been relatively warm, then we had a couple cool days. Now our temperatures are shooting back up again. It's getting spicy out here. Came out to the fields for a little bit. We didn't have much going on here in the later afternoon, so I wanted to fix up a couple of these mulch beds. The wind was blowing really hard, and I just had to go through with a shovel and throw shovel full of dirt on each side of the mulch, trying to keep it all down. It happens sometimes where the wind will really blow. We won't get some rain that'll help to keep the mulch down. Has to be done or it blows away. I just got home and look what we've got going on here. We've got Lily. Can you say hi, Lily?
Hi. And
since I'm home and since I'm a little warm from being out in the sun, that means this is where we're gonna end the video. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.